time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
It's 96 days to the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi. We're on Love 99.5 FM, live on myjoyonline.com, live in all 16 regions. I'm Menuveve FM in Aflao, Radio Free in Nandom, Ganga FM in Jirapa. We're live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. This afternoon, water production by the Ghana Water Company dropped from 70 to 40% nationwide due to illegal mining, prompting warnings that operations could come to a complete halt without urgent intervention.
We are running into a crisis when it comes to water resources. If we don't take time, in the next 2-3 years, we will not even be able to get 20% of water supply.
The company is recommending that Ghana's rivers and water bodies be made national security zones to protect them from illegal activities.
I think that we've gotten to a stage where we need to be brutal about it. We need to confront it head on. So move it under the jurisdiction of CDS and see whether there will not be a change.
I'll take you live around the country as workers of the water company speak out. Also, Tamale High Court orders a rerun of the Wale Wale NPP primaries to the dismay of the defendant who insists the ruling does not correspond with facts presented.
As far as the record go, they cannot be sound. Our view is that the judgment does not correspond with the evidence that was led, the documentary and the telephone conversations that were attached.
Also this afternoon, one more sitting NPP MP officially declares bid to run as an independent candidate, bringing the number to 2, with analysts warning the number could increase.
One person cannot go for independent, right? Yeah, it is the best. It is what? The best.
We have details of that. Also chaos at the surgery department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital as minority spokesperson on health storms the facility to demand an immediate resumption of elective surgeries at the hospital. We have details of that as he issues a 24-hour ultimatum to the hospital to fix the faulty elevators that led to the suspension of the surgeries. We have sports.
Black Stars coach Otuado and 2 technical team members are in stable condition after their involvement in a car accident.
And also, Food and Drugs Authority cracked down on food adulteration as 4 traders are arrested in Accra for contaminating palm oil with Sudan dye.
Arrests were done, and then people at the market level, Anya Market, for example, Nima Market, for example, we got some of the vendors who had it in there. I can say we've made over, about 4 arrests.
Plus, the very latest on the destruction of the statue mounted in honor of the Big Six at the airport runabout here in Accra. Do stay with me for details of that and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. And this is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Let's digging now. And water production by the Ghana Water Company has dropped from 70 to 40% nationwide due to illegal mining activities. The company is warning that operations will come to a complete halt unless there's an urgent action to stop the menace of galamsey. In our latest Hotline documentary, Poisoned Rivers, producer Richard Kojonyako speaks with the managing director of the Ghana Water Company, Brima. Here are excerpts of the documentary.
Despite the odds, the Ghana Water Company perseveres. The treated water, painstakingly processed from the sludge, is finally pumped into the homes of hopeful residents. But the struggle is evident in every drop. The water, although clear to the eye, carries the heavy weight of a journey fraught with threats of contaminants.
Think that, like other countries do, water bodies are national security issues. They are national security zones. If Water Resources Commission, though working in it, they are civilians, but it's under the Ministry of Defense. And let's test the resilience of our military and see whether that problem will not be resolved. As at now, yes, once in a while we bring them in to go on, but that's a flash, it goes off. But if you make it their responsibility, and they cannot stop our water bodies to be polluted, how can they guarantee citizens that when there is an invasion of foreign forces, they will be able to stop them? And I believe strongly that if it becomes a national security issue, and Water Resources Commission, though it's a civilian department, but under the jurisdiction and supervision of the military or national security, I'm sure this thing will give me 100 days. I'm sure it will be, because they will be marked by the quality of water. And I know the men. I know what they can do if given that responsibility. So I think that we've gotten to a stage where we need to be brute about it. We need to be truthful about it. We need to confront it head on. If we leave it in the hands of politicians, look, Mr. A will be saying, when you are come, I'll bring them back. Mr. B will say, when I come, I'll make sure they don't do it. And it becomes a game.
But it's the politicians that control these.
So that's what I'm saying. That so move it off their jurisdiction, under the jurisdiction of CDS, and see whether there will not be a change. For me, if given the opportunity, that's what I will.
Well, the full documentary airs this evening. You can't miss that. Residents living at the estuary of River Ankobra have also been sharing the experiences of how persistent pollution of the river by Galamsey continues to affect their lives. Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko went back to the community to gauge the situation and has filed this report.
Ankobra River, situated in the western region of Ghana, flows through the Dwaboso and Nzema East districts. Direct mining on the river in many of the communities along its path has reduced its integrity. The Ankobra is contaminated. The 2023 testing of samples from various catch points revealed high levels of arsenic, chromium, cadmium, lead, and other harmful metals from Galamsey.
I know of MMDCs and MPs in some communities who have employed people to do Galamsey for them. Even some chiefs in some communities do Galamsey.
At the estuary, where it joins the sea at Axim, residents of Ankobra town are bearing the brunt of the pollution.
This is what remains of a once beautiful, clean estuary where the Ankobra joins the sea.
Assembly member for the area, Patrick Isua, confirms the illegal mining operations in and around the Ankobra are eroding the economic gains of the community.
Due to the Galamsey activities, we have lost three things. One is tourism. The second one is the source of water. And the third one is jobs, because it has affected us economically.
Well, so that's the situation now. Also, from my colleague Erastus Asaridonko. Now, the Water Resources Commission also paints a gloomy picture of the situation. But first, what's the state of water production in the regions? Dr. Hansen Mensah Kwete is the Ashanti Regional Chief Manager of the Ghana Water Company.
The Konongo and Odaso treatment plants are actually being impacted by the Galamsey activity that has seriously deteriorated the source water quality that we have to treat. This Galamsey activity has seriously impacted on the characteristics of the raw water such that now it's becoming very unbearable. What it means is that the protocol for which the system were designed, we have shifted almost about 90% of its design capacity. So much such that in a technical sense, we should have closed down those particular plants. The value of a TBT has risen from 25 to 5,124 NTU. So you could just imagine the load of silt and sediment that we have to deal in terms of treating the water.
And so for Odaso, you are supposed to do 4 million a day. currently what you're able to trap is even 1.5. That is just about 37%. And even of that 37%, by the time you finish treating it, a bulk of it cannot be used. So we are doing just less than 20% of it.
That is thrown away
as
waste. So technically, the value has reduced, the volume has reduced such that we cannot even meet the demand of the people.
We'll get to hear shortly from the Water and Sanitation Minister, Lydia Al-Hassan, on the situation. We've also been hearing from the Public Relations Manager for Ghana Water in charge of the Western and Central regions. Nana Yao Berima says some stations have already been shut down due to galamsey activities.
It happened in the past where Chebi in the Eastern region, the treatment plant there was shut down for over a year because the turbidity of the water then rose up so high that we could not treat. What were the people drinking? What sort of water were they using? Well, your guess could be as good as mine. If you go to Bonso and Osino, as I speak to you, as and when the raw water quality goes beyond treatment, those plants are shut down. River Bonsa near Takwa also is a haven of galamsey operators. In fact, I have to say that the consequences are there. We may get to a point where such a human treatment plant could be shut down.
So that's the situation with Western and Central regions, and Naya Berima paints that picture. We'll get to hear more also from the Water Resources Commission, but thankfully the Minister in charge of Water and Sanitation, Lydia Al-Hassan, joins us on the line. We are grateful for your time. So what kind of briefing are you getting when it comes to this situation with the Ghana Water Company?
Good afternoon to your listeners. Good afternoon to us all, especially my constituents. It is not different from what you have been told by the managing director. The situation, as we are all aware, is getting worse by the day. We at the ministry have put measures in place to ensure that the situation minimizes. The galamsey menace as a country is huge, and we are just about launching
Unfortunately, we've just lost the Water and Sanitation Minister, Lydia Al-Hassan, there. We'll try and work the lines and bring her back on this particular issue, on what the interventions are in terms of, she mentions that, of course, she has the same briefing that we're getting from the Ghana Water Company when it comes to the impact of illegal mining on water production. It's dropped from 70 to 40%. We can also hear from the Executive Director of the Water Resources Commission, Dr. Bob Alpha. He says production is an all-time low.
Cost, which is treatment of water. If you are treating 10 gallons of water, you are now getting about 3 or 4 gallons. Cost that normally you would have treated 10, you will use more than that to treat 4. So that alone, just the operational cost. Now, when you come to the area of the equipments, they have to service the equipments more regularly than they would have. Because if it is a monthly maintenance, now you have to do it weekly. That comes also with a cost, and it interrupts the water supply, and therefore they are not able to produce to meet demand. Already at full capacity, Ghana was already struggling to meet full demand. The coverage was close to 70%. Already had 30% deficit in terms of water supply. Now we are reducing the full coverage. We cannot produce 100% now. We are producing about 40%. So that definitely brings the coverage much lower. And it is all because of the pollution of these water bodies. We are running into a crisis when it comes to water resources, especially within the southwestern area. We have been talking about this for so long, and I think action needs to be taken. If we don't take time, in the next 2-3 years, we will not even be able to get 20% of water supply, for the southwestern areas.
So that's the Executive Director of the Water Resources Commission, Dr. Bob Alpha. Let me bring in the Director of Communications of the Ghana Water Company, Mr. Stanley Mate, on this situation as well. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. Mr. Mate, so you've painted the gloomy picture, at least we've heard from all those involved on this situation. So what exactly is going to happen going forward?
The water situation is actually okay. Not too bad. We've already made our challenges known, and so we are managing the situation. We are monitoring on daily basis, on hourly basis, and so everything should be okay.
How is it not too bad, Mr. Mate, when your production has dropped from 70 to 40% nationwide?
So seasonally, it has the seasons have some impact on us. So, for instance, when we are in the dry season, there's that impact on the volumes of water that we are able to abstract for treatment. We are also being affected by the pollution of our river bodies. So these are the challenges, but we are able to manage it with the water demand management. Okay, so although it may not be enough, we are able to handle it, because if, for instance, every area is getting an averagely, let's say, 3 or 4 days in a week, it's okay for everybody to store water. Emefa, you also bear with me that in the last 5 to 6 years, we've been educating the public on the need to be storing water. So now most of us are storing water. And so if you have storage to take you for, let's say, a week, and you're getting water like 3 to 4 days averagely in a week, that should be enough for you to survive. But
Mr. Mate, you seem to be downplaying the impact of the illegal. Wait, if I may finish. I know you don't want to cause fear and panic, but to the extent that we're hearing from your central region people there mentioning that 60% of the water they are supposed to be treating is silted. The situation in Obuasi, they are also threatening to shut down. We've heard the situation in the central region as well. At least, and there are areas that do not have water as we speak. Are you saying that you're not feeling the impact of illegal activities on your production?
Emefa, this thing has been going on for a very long time, and we have been talking about it. We all know the impact of the water pollution on our operations. But what I'm saying is
so what is the immediate intervention that has been put in place, at least on the side of government and your company as well, to guarantee that I'll get water tomorrow?
So, for instance, we are actually working seriously with the district assemblies and then the security forces to ensure that the pollution is stopped. Okay, but like I keep saying, all of us need to get involved. We just don't have to leave it to, let's say, government or the security services or Ghana Water Company alone. We all need to get involved. For us, we are doing a lot of education. We are working with the Water Resources Commission and doing a lot of education at areas where these things are occurring.
Okay.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission is also involved, and we are all doing our best. But as citizens, we also need to do something. The people doing the galamsey are our relatives. They are our friends. So why are we not also doing our part by educating them to put an end to it? You understand?
Okay.
It's a difficult situation, but we need that. Okay? I mean, government is also working at that level. At that level, I can't speak to it. But at our own level, what are we doing?
Okay. Mr. Mate, we'll have to leave it here for now. Of course, the discussion will continue throughout the day. That's part of our latest hotline documentary put together by Richard Kojunyako and the team. Will be airing later this evening. Also on the polls, the discussion will be on. But related closely to this also, the Electricity Company of Ghana has begun an aggressive exercise to replace all faulty meters in parts of Accra. The exercise, which started today from the Accra East District, is targeted at over 250,000 faulty meters spread across Legon, Denton, Kwabenya and its environs. We can hear from the regional manager from the Accra East District, Engineer Besmak Otu, addressing a press conference a while ago.
Within Accra East, we have over 250,000 meters that we are going to replace. These meters, as I said earlier on, have become dysfunctional. They are not working very well, and so in the interest of our customers and our own interest, we need to replace them so that there will be some more transparency in our dealings with our customers. We have these meters in Accra East scattered across the Makola district, We have some in Roman Ridge District. We have some in Legon District. We also have some in Adenta District, Dodowa District, Kwabenya District, and a few in Teshi District.
Well, my colleague James Avegis with a team on this particular exercise joins us on the line. James, what can you report?
Emefa, so the ECG says that this is expected to last for 2 months. For instance, in the Accra East region, they have indicated that they have already gone into contractual agreement with some 10 subcontractors who are expected to change at least 37 meters per day. And by the end of October this year, over 250 of these meters are expected to change. We are currently at La, where the exercise had already kickstarted changing meters for some customers around the trade fair here in Accra. Emefa.
That's my colleague James Saveji there giving us updates on that particular exercise. It's time to get into the election headquarters now. And this afternoon, the Tamale High Court has ordered a rerun of the NPP primaries in the Wale Wale constituency of the Northern region. The ruling by Justice Richard Kokpagwa came after a challenge with incumbent MP Hajia Lariba Zuweratu, who contested the results of the January 2024 primary, where she was narrowly defeated by Dr. Mahama Tia Kabiru. Dr. Kabiru won by just 7 votes, was restrained from holding himself as the elected candidate after Hajia Lariba alleged electoral irregularities. The ruling comes just a week to the filing of the parliamentary and presidential nominations for the December 7 elections. My colleague Martina Bugri observed proceedings and joins us on the line with updates on this. So, Martina, what more can you tell us in terms of the directive from the court today?
So the court agreed with the plaintiff that the elections was marred with irregularities, and so has directed that they go back and have a rerun of that election. We have tried to get in touch with the regional executive to find out when and how the party would handle this, but that is not unsuccessful. But what I'm gathering is that the party officially from its national headquarters would issue a statement later in the day on what the party would do, on the party's stance. So basically, that's what we are waiting for as we speak.
Well, you've been interacting also with the counsel for the defense, Samson Ladia Nyenene. What has he been telling you?
He said that they presented enough evidence to show that the plaintiff had engaged the people to those who impersonated the dead people, amidst other evidence that they had shown that the plaintiff had a hand in getting these people to vote. And so what they expected the court to have done was that to rule in their favor, considering that they had showed enough evidence. But
the bottom line is that once it was established by fact, not concoction, by pure evidence, documentary, telephone conversation, and video encounters to show that the elections were fair, our point at law was that the law is that if you commit a crime, you will not benefit from your crime. Once the plaintiff, Lariba Zuwera, was found to be the one who got the people impersonating the dead, 6 people, and who got the people impersonating the absentees, she must not benefit from her wrong. The law is that if you commit a wrong, you must not benefit. Yes. So our expectation was that the court will say, yes, we found this, that it happened, but the person who did that is the one who has come to court, the plaintiff. So she must suffer and not get a judgment in her favor.
That's Samson Ladia Nyenene, the counsel for the defense. Meanwhile, defendant Dr. Mahama Tia Kabiru insists he did nothing wrong. In the polls,
they say the voice of the people is the voice of God. Yes. You cannot tend to use technicality. You can't tend to use illegal means. In fact, you've committed illegality and you are in court trying to use the same illegality to punish someone. I have never seen such kind of injustice. That's it.
We can now hear from lawyers for the plaintiff, Sylvester Isang.
It's better late than never. So we believe that the party at the moment can even disregard what has happened in court. The party has the constitutional mandate to reopen nominations and even disregard the 2 candidates and invite other people who are willing to come forward.
We'll stay a while longer in election headquarters, and the governing New Patriotic Party is grappling with a number of its sitting MPs deciding to run as independent presidential candidates in the 2024 elections. NPP MP for Suhum Kwedra Asante and NPP MP for Aguna West Cynthia Morrison have formally announced they will be ditching their party. There's more in this political desk report put together by Kweku Asante.
28 NPP MPs lost their bid to return to parliament in their party's parliamentary primaries held last year. 2 of them now set to run against their party in the general election as independent candidates. There are now fears within the party that there may be more announcements on the way. And Joy News understands the party is still working to convince the former gender minister to drop the plans of running as an independent candidate. Even before the dust on that will settle, another NPP MP, Kwedra Asante, has also announced he's going independent. Prior to this announcement,
they did a help. They petitioned me, and then they said that it doesn't matter what has happened. I should come and serve them. I should come and continue my work.
And that's a political desk report. We'll bring you the full report subsequently. And this is your election headquarters, made possible by Petrosol Platinum Energies, Energizing Dreams, SIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, SIMA, AICP, and SIMA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and the Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging gaps for positive youth development, making it possible to bring you your election headquarters. We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and myjoyonline.com, made possible by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams. We return from the break. We have sport and chaos at the surgery department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital as minority spokesperson on health storms the facility to demand an immediate resumption of elective surgeries at the hospital.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah. The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah. Doctors, nurses, barbers, drivers, bouncers, friends, teachers, bankers. Go. The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah. The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah. Doctors, nurses, barbers, drivers, bouncers, friends, teachers, bankers. Star 712 hash. You could be the luckiest.
Thanks for staying with us, and it's time for sports. Mubarak, what do we have?
Yes, Emefa. So the Ghana FA has confirmed that Black Stars coach Otto Addo and 2 technical team members are in stable condition after being involved in a car accident over the weekend. Otto Addo, his assistant John Pentel, and goalkeepers trainer Fatau Dauda managed to avoid a head-on collision with a pickup truck on the Takoradi Road. The left side of their Land Cruiser was damaged, but fortunately, no injuries were sustained. They are expected to lead the Black Stars' first training session later today at the Accra Sports Stadium as they prepare for the 2025 AFCON qualifier against Angola on Thursday. Back to you, Emefa.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. Now, there were chaotic scenes at the surgery department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital after minority spokesperson on health stormed the facility to demand an immediate resumption of elective surgeries, while the hospital suspended all elective surgeries due to faulty elevators. Well, my colleague, Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Sante, was with the team, and Kwabena Mintah Kando has been giving some 24-hour ultimatum. Tell us what happened.
Well, yes, when he did get there, he wanted to get inside the facility and do this news conference in front of the faulty elevators. But some officials at the surgery department will not allow that. He eventually came out to do the news conference, giving government, through the health ministry, 24 hours to fix the situation or face the wrath of the minority.
Selective surgeries. And the reason they cited was as a result of faulty lift. So today, this morning, I decided to pay a surprise visit to see for myself whether or not the lifts are working. Unfortunately, the lifts are not working. We are here at the Department of Surgery, and the lift at the Department of Surgery is not working. The information we have gathered is that some of the lifts have been down for the past 4 to 5 good years. For me, it is rather unconscionable for a whole hospital, a teaching hospital such as Kolebu, to derelict its duty for just maintaining a lift to facilitate movement of patients to get the quality of healthcare they need.
And that's Kwabena Mintah Kando there. And there's something that a lot of people are talking about this weekend. It happened at the Kotoka International Airport roundabout, that vandalizing of the Big Six bust at the roundabout. Fred Smith is of our security desk. He's been checking more on this particular situation. There's an arrest? What exactly is the update?
Yes, there's been an arrest, and the police is not taking this lightly at all. They are currently preparing the suspect they picked up for court, and between today and tomorrow morning he would have appeared before court.
Okay, well, it leads us to MNJ, and Jackie is here, and I know that there's a lot of talk about this particular vandalism of the Big Six.
Emefa, so people have been sharing their thoughts on it, especially after Kobe Che posted it on social media. Let me read one comment. Someone says that the next thing we'll hear is a $17 million US suit to reconstruct this at the airport. So there are a lot of comments on it.
Nerves,
I know, right? He got nerves. But then apart from that, hashtag Stop Galamsey. It looks like social media influencers are also adding their voice to this after a couple of videos are trending on social media about the River Pra. So let me read these comments. Emmanuel says that danger is looming ahead of the country, yet our leaders are reluctant to do the needful. They think they'll fly out of the country when the danger arises. What if planes are unable to fly? So a couple of comments on this one. Everyone seems to be using the hashtag Stop Galamsey now.
Yeah, definitely. You have to join the discussion as well, especially when it's affecting our water supply also. And Jackie, I can see that you had a good weekend.
Yes,
enjoy the rest of the week as well. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Living Word with the birthday man, Pastor Mensa Otabil, is coming up next. Words of our salvation. Happy birthday, Pastor Mensa Otabil.